Definitely tune in to this Stanley Cup playoffs this year. Because even though last night we had blowout after blowout, I mean, you had a 5-1 game, two 5-1 games, a 7-3 game, and a 3-1 game. But if you were watching those games, those four, did you see how many hits that were dished out? You know, I was talking about it earlier with the Stars and Wild game. 92 hits in that game. It was a bloodbath. I mean, it was like a battle in the 300 movie. And the only difference was it was 300 versus 300 and 5-on-5, if you want to consider it like that. But it was malicious. And a lot of things happened in these games last night that it doesn't take away the fact that one team lost by a lot. But what took away from me is the neutral zone play and the intensity compared to regular season hockey. There is no coasting at all. And that is excitement to the viewers. Like, super exciting. I mean, it was, I was a little tired last night, just like the night before. And I'm like, should I stay up to watch this, Kraken versus Avalanche game? And it was just bang, bang, this way, that way. Just puck was moving at an increased level as in compared to regular season hockey. So let's go to a game called the Hudson River Showdown, a showdown in the playoffs that hasn't been alive in over 20 years. When the New Jersey Devils and Rangers were at their peaks, Martin Brodeur and Lundqvist, Mark Messier, players like that. And now you're starting to see it again with Adam Fox, Jack Hughes, Zibanejad, Kane's on the way now, he's there. And, Vanecek's got to step up, and that was the biggest difference. But another thing that pointed out to me with that game is I was watching the game, and I was thinking, man, the Devils, they had a great run in November. They won 18 straight. But when it comes playoff time, they've got no experience. And you look at the other side of the river from the New York Rangers, Patrick Kane, Zibanejad, Panarin, Fox, they've all been there. Kreider, they all have plenty of playoff experience, and they know the intensity. And the Devils just walked in with no experience, and they tried to keep up with them. They just couldn't. They got out-hit, outplayed, and there was no answer for the Devils defense to stop that Rangers offense. None whatsoever. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments taken in. And the adjustment that can't be fixed is the goaltending. Igor Shesterkin saved 29 out of 30 shots, compared to Vita Vanecek's 17 out of 23. I'm sorry, 22. Well, if you want to consider the empty net goal. So Adam Fox had 4 assists, and that's something you didn't see on the Rangers defense. They weren't involved in the offensive style of play. So we're going to see what goes on into the end, but I'm telling you here, the Devils they're toast. The Rangers they're all over them. They've got no experience, and I'm looking at maybe a sweep here, maybe. I mean, yeah, you could be the best team, the second best team in the Eastern Conference, but once you enter those playoffs, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a complete 180 head spin. So. Yeah, I'm liking the Rangers. They're looking really good, and they are showing out. And they played in New Jersey, and once they get back to New York, it's toast for the Devils. So it's a must win for Game 2. Now there was a game that started at 7:30, and it was on ESPN1, and a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation for this game. And the people who bought tickets, I feel sorry for you, because it was a complete letdown for you guys. Why? The Toronto Maple Leafs committed over 9 penalties in that game. Not to include the selfish play, the selfish hit of Michael Bunting. And the Red Wings have a big rivalry with him, because he was in that that Calder Cup Rookie of the Year race with Mo Seider and Zegras. And, they got into it this year, and you saw all the Red Wings first-round players just, gang up on him like, hey, we're here now. We're about to be where you're at. And, this is the last year for the Leafs to make their final run, because Tavares is going to go, Nylander is going to go. Well, their contracts are expiring. Plenty of other players' contracts expiring. So this is their year to capitalize on the opportunity. Also, the year to get back at the team that knocked them out in Game 7. They haven't went past the first round since 2004. And I know you're thinking of that Game 7 of Boston when they went up, I believe it was 4-0, and Boston came back and beat them to advance to the first round. So they're starving for it. And I don't know how, they just commit these stupid turnovers or penalties. You look at the head coach and the Toronto Maple Leafs head coach, he was starting Justin Hall. Justin Hall committed too many turnovers. And it was just stupid play by them. And they outplayed Sheldon Keefe. Yeah, Sheldon Keefe. When Michael Bunting committed that terrible hit, that he just leaned right into him and the puck was just way over there. So it was definitely game misconduct. Just knocked his freaking jaw out. And Sheldon Keefe was standing. He was looking up, and when that penalty was committed, he just put his head down, because you can't fix stupidity, really. You can't. So he's just sitting there like, why is this happening to me right now? Why is my team committing so many selfish penalties? Because we are outplaying them right now on 5-on-5. The Tampa Bay Lightning had 5 goals on their power play. They had 2 5-on-3 advantages. And when you have, that many advantages, when you're a team who is known for excelling on the power play, you're gonna do the tic-tac-toe moves, and they did, and they scored. So, but when it comes to 5-on-5, the Leafs looked way faster than them, way faster. They were just on it, and the penalties just disintegrated them. Really, they let up 7 goals. It was a 7-3 game, and they went down. I believe it was 3-0 in the first period, and they showed some life, got within 1. Another penalty committed, 4-2. Here comes Michael Bunting down the line, but down the red line. Shoulder, jaws everywhere. Puck's five yards away from the hit. Makes it 4-2. Here comes another one, 5-2, 6-2. Yeah, you get one to make it 6-3. Oh, there's life. Yeah, we're going to close the life out and make it 7. So I believe that if the Leafs can control their penalties and have discipline, they're going to win this series. It showed why they wanted to win, and they didn't. The first 8 minutes of that video, the audio is going to be terrible. So if you're just coming on the 8th minute, here comes the lavalier mic for the win. So we're back. So yeah, just coming off that Game 1. If Toronto can limit penalties, I see a complete drastic change in Game 2 and the games following to come. If they can play 5-on-5 hockey, and Tampa Bay doesn't even have to commit penalties, Toronto will just put the puck in the net more than they do on 5-on-5. And so don't commit stupid penalties, Toronto. Be disciplined. When I was talking about, going into the 5-on-5 play, the neutral zone is the key point to winning hockey games, because the neutral zone is in the middle. And I want you to, picture this, the middle. Here's the middle of the ice, okay? So whoever can control the middle of the ice can control the game. And this is something that the Winnipeg Jets did against the Vegas Golden Knights, and something I advocated for last night when I was telling you take the Jets, because the Jets are going to light up the engines and go at 400 miles an hour or wherever, how fast a jet goes. I think it's faster. I think it's like 800 or something. But it was like, they dominated in the neutral zone. The Golden Knights had 17 shots, a low record for them, including the regular season. Winnipeg had 30. And they did all that just by dominating in the neutral zone. I watched a game against the Detroit Red Wings, and they won, I believe it was 3-1 in the first game. And this is going back to October. And you go to
about 3 weeks ago, before the playoffs was starting, the Jets was in a must-win game against Detroit. And Detroit had nothing to play for, but all they had to play for was to knock Winnipeg out. But Winnipeg came out firing. They scored 6 goals before the Red Wings scored 1. And after I saw that, I'm like, okay, this team has drive. They wanna win. They don't want to wait for next year. So what I saw from the Jets and Knights game, I saw no intensity from the Knights. They played like a first seed confidently going to breeze past an 8th seed. And Winnipeg is not an 8th seed off paper. On paper, yes. But off paper, no, they're up there. And especially with the free agent signings and acquirements and just limiting their style of play in the defensive area, which they did phenomenally to get into the neutral zone and then dominating the neutral zone, getting into the offensive zone, putting up shot after shot after shot against a third-string goalie, which their other two are, one's in the Bahamas getting rehab or something, and the other one is on IR from, the one in the Bahamas is on a gambling addiction. The one is on IR for, I forgot, he's got an ACL. So they're running out of goalies there. That's why they traded for Jonathan Quick, who was, I don't know, 1 year away from hanging up the pads. And Kyle Connor is a goal machine. I remember I used to do this FanDuel thing. I used to do this little FanDuel player app thing. You get you guess who gets the most points in a hockey game. Kyle Connor delivered every time. Every time. It'd either be a goal, assist, 2 goals, a hat trick maybe. And you saw it last night if you watched that Jets game. Unbelievable. He is a goal machine. So Vegas has to bring the intensity. I think the Jets will steal this series. Vegas has been, you look at the fans were going nuts. They had confetti everywhere, and they were leaving 5 minutes before the game ended. So parade is definitely going to end there. I'm telling you, if Winnipeg just keeps this up, they're the better team, hands down. So, and this was a game that surprised me because I thought that the defending Stanley Cup champions were going to, it was going to be a cake in the walk for them. Because like I was going on to the Devils, they had no playoff experience. And now the Seattle Kraken have finally made it. An unexpected year for them. They were supposed to be bottom 25 in the league. But 94 points in the regular season. And I still doubted them. I still thought they ain't got nothing. They're playing the Avalanche. It's over for them. Philip Grubauer, the Seattle Kraken's goalie, played phenomenal. Phenomenal. He shut down McKinnon. He shut down Rantanen. He didn't let McCarr, get around the net. He just poke-checked him away. The Seattle forwards played enough to get past him. The defense, stellar. Gave Philip Grubauer chances to make easy saves. I was amazed. I was shocked, really. I was shocked that they did that against the defending Stanley Cup champions. Will it turn around? Will this, will Avalanche, will they maybe win this in 5, win the next 4 straight? I think so. But the Kraken, they got comfortable when their feet was wet. They just put their foot in the pond when the pond's 40 degrees, and they were fine with it. They won 3-1. So I'm not saying like this is going to be a total beatdown, but I think if the Avalanche can turn this around, I think it'll just be a 5-game series. I think, yeah. So, and this was 10 first round. The Avalanche won 10 straight games in game 1 for the first round. So, that you enter the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs, they would win. The streak's broken, and they're pissed about that. So, just FYI, bet on the Avalanche. Take a -1.5 or something next game. It's going to be guaranteed. And so, you look back at those games, And aside from the score, if you watch the game, it was great games to watch. Aside from the Toronto Maple Leafs and Lightning game, which was a disaster for Toronto. Tampa Bay's 40 minutes down the road, and they were probably going crazy down there because they're like, yes, more power plays. So, yeah, a lot of intensity from each game, and the hits are just piling up. You don't see this in regular season hockey. And if you're new to hockey, I think you're going to be in love with this playoff series. So now we go to tonight's games, and I was flawless for the NHL. What can I say? Between the lines. So I think when the Islanders went to Carolina, they were ready. But what they failed to do was dump the puck in and do their bread and butter. They are a grind team. They are a team where they dump the puck in, check you in the corner, take the puck away from you, and score at the top of the hash marks. I didn't see any of that. I saw flashiness. I saw one-man show. Good defense, but the forward side, I just saw everyone trying to do their own thing, not working together. And that is what the Islanders thrive off of. They thrive off team play. So, and they're going to want to go back to Long Island with the 1-1 series. They don't want this to get out of hand because they know their potential. They know the Canes are good, but they know that they can win this series. There's a great opportunity. And the Canes, if they want to win this game again, because the Islanders are going to get back to what they've been doing in the regular season, they have to convert on the power play. They went 2 for 2. They scored their only 2 goals of the game on the power plays. So if they want to win this game, they're going to have to convert on the power play. And the Islanders will take penalties. They have a great penalty kill, though. Not as good as the Canes power play, but like I said, if the Canes want to win this game, they're going to have to convert. And I was talking to you guys earlier about it. Do not take the -1.5 on these games. These games are going to go down to the wire through Game 7. And if you want to take the under, over, I don't know about that because, it could be on and off every game. So be hesitant on that over and under. And like to finish up on the Islanders versus Canes game, this is my favorite series because it's the most evenly matched. And not saying it like it's the most evenly, like it's perfect. It really is perfect because each line matches up with each other, and they're gonna play to their hearts out. And guys, getting me fired up. I want to hit the ice, but I mean, when you compare it to a game like the Bruins and the Panthers don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance at all unless Alex Lyon, who their AHL star goalie and coming into the NHL, just freaking plays unbelievable. I see a sweep. I mean, you're playing against the best record team in NHL history. So, not to mention when you average 36 shots a game compared to Florida's 24, who got on a lucky run and went, I believe it was 7-2-1 in their last 10, just to squeeze in the playoffs and kick out Pittsburgh, who they choked. So, I like the Bruins -1.5 again. TD Garden, electrifying atmosphere. So I wouldn't even watch. I mean, you already know the outcome of that game. But if Alex Lyon can shut him out, he has to play a shutout game. It has to be a shutout because I don't see Florida putting up 2 or more. I don't. I see him 1, maybe 2 at the most, 3. You're out in left field. So Alex Lyon has to play a shutout game. And there, like in that game, physicality, you didn't really see it a lot. You didn't. Compared to the Wild and Stars game, when there was 92 hits in game 1, not to mention a brutal hit from Matt Dumba, which was clean. It was a clean hit. It was a clean hit. I mean, you saw did you see Pavelski's get hit on that play? It wasn't so much when he got hit, it was when his head hit the ice. When I saw that, I was like, oh shoot, he concussed. He's got a concussion or something like that. So a lot of bad blood in that game. And that's going to be one of those 1970 games with the Flyers versus the Montreal Canadiens, just bashing each other out, just freaking going all out. So, but I think the Stars, they lost game one in double overtime. So I mean, when you go into double overtime, it's more like an even game. Both teams played very evenly. It was a brawl out, and whoever won the King of the Hill won that game. So, and if you look at the third goal, the overtime goal that was scored, it was just a little cheeky wobbler off the boards, and nobody was in front of the net to stop. I believe it was Eriksson Ek, I believe. But now he's injured. And here's why I think the Stars will win, because the Wild, they saw two injuries, Sundqvist and Eriksson Ek. Now they have Shaw, Eriksson Ek, Sundqvist, Klingberg all out for game two with no injuries on the opposite side of the ice in the Dallas Stars. So I like the Stars this game. And I was wrong about the Stars fan base. It looked like that movie from The Grinch when everything was like green in his little cave area. It was green everywhere. It was like one of those Nickelodeon slime things just falling down. There was green jerseys everywhere. I didn't even think they'd sell out. They sold out the entire arena. So, yeah, going back to that Pavelski hit, they're fired up. They don't want their veteran player, going back into game three on the road and losing the game. And if they lose tonight, they're done. They're done for the series, because Wild will just take advantage of game three. Yeah, Stars might win game four, but if they want to come back in this series, they got to win game two. So, and when you watch a hockey game, all right, a team downs 3-1 in the third period. You look at the money line, minus 5,000. Yeah, it's over. No, it's never over. Never over till the game's over. The Los Angeles Kings came back down 3-1. And I was talking about this earlier. Drew Doughty made a great play. He made a great blue line keep in to keep the game alive and put a goal in with 30 seconds left to make it 3-3. They come back and win in overtime. But tonight, it's going to be a massacre, folks. The Kings are going to get slept. Safe bet, take the Oilers over 3.5 goals. This game might go to 7. It's going to be like a stick man game where they win 1, they win 1, 2, or that chopstick game, whatever you play like that. 1, 1, 2, 2, till 4-3 or 3-4, or 4-3. So I love the NHL playoffs. I really do. It's amazing. You transition to the NBA, which I'll talk about that in the next video. But the NHL playoffs, it brings such intensity in the game that brings it out of us while we're watching it. It's so fast. It's so competitive. And every last goal, every last puck drop is eye-opening. It's just you have to keep your eye on it at all times, because one little mistake can break your heart. And I will have a lot of information and feedback and analysis on these 4 upcoming games tomorrow. So set your clocks ready. Starts in about 4 hours for game 1. And get ready for my analysis on the games for tomorrow, and as well as what happened on tonight, because what a wild ride we got, folks. Welcome to the NHL playoffs. You're on Between the Lines.